live and welcome to the House of Vizsla, where we talk everything and anything Star Wars. Welcome to the Spies in the Skies Andor Season 2 review show. Today is a spoiler review of episode 7, 8 of 9 of Andor. It is delayed. Sorry. We've been busy.
Yes, sir, we have.
So, welcome. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty well. You know,
So
been working away at a summer job and trying to stay alive.
I've been helping various family members do stuff, and I'm severely sunburned now. Fun times.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good.
How about you,
Stream
Fives?
audio is working well.
Fives, you are Fives. Did you mean to ask Tiger?
No, I meant, yeah.
I've been good walking to my court moment. I feel like an adept falling down. So
Fair.
Yeah.
Nice.
With that said, I think we should start with the Diego Luna scale.
I mean,
Alrighty.
yeah. Yeah, so this arc 3 in the Andor 2 series,
it's pretty good.
The highest yet that we've rated it. It's very good.
Yes, very, very good.
Yeah, since we're reviewing the arc as itself in a whole, then we just decided to rank like all 3 episodes together instead of individually. So.
Yes, from 1 to 10. So, with that said, I'll go first. I gave it a 10. This, I think, might be my first 10 in House of Vizsla history. I loved it. Amazing work by Tony Gilroy and just the people behind Andor. Diego Luna, Genevieve O'Reilly, and whoever the actor for Bail Organa is. It is amazing. Just gonna say that. What about you, Echo?
Well, I also gave this a 10. It is by far my favorite arc of Andor. And I kind of wish we had more Star Wars content that was more like this.
Yeah.
Just like...
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but yeah.
Yes, I do agree.
Feel like I would give probably episode 9 a 10, but I don't think the whole arc. I feel more like a 9 for the arc. It's still really good though. One of my higher ratings for House of Vizsla. So, yeah, that's what I'm giving it.
So, with that said, our average, after doing some complicated math, is a 9.67 Andals. We are very close. And
yes,
hey, we all know that nothing can get 10 unless it's Revenge of the Sith.
Maybe Luke Skywalker showing up in Mandalorian Season 2.
Yeah, but even then, I still wouldn't.
No.
That scene though was very awesome though. Like,
yes.
Or maybe
and seeing some of the edits that people have made on YouTube about it.
Hayden Christensen showed up.
Quite honestly, the de-aging did not do him well.
Yeah, but it's de-aging.
But still.
It's Hayden Christensen back in Star Wars. But that's not what today's episode's about. No mention of Lord Vader at all.
Unfortunate.
Sadly, I was
Palpatine.
hoping, maybe the last arc, hopefully.
But yes,
Hopefully.
we name Emperor Palpatine.
We did.
Yes.
I was like, I was waiting for it, and she said it, and I was like,
And
yes,
just to be
good
straight
speech.
off, there is differences between um the Rebels
The Rebel
episode.
speech.
Yes, there's two speeches in Rebels. There was a HoloNet broadcast that Ghost Crew
Yeah,
was listening to, and it was Mon Mothma giving her speech, but it was cut short, and it was probably a couple hours later, and I think the ISB wanted to um, do some cover up, and was able to jam it very quickly.
Yeah. So
yeah,
what I heard about the speeches was there was the original one that she gave in the Senate, and then
Yes,
there was one later. That's what the Ghost Crew is originally listening to,
yes,
and
right.
then
The
there's
one
the
later.
and then the one later is still the what she was supposed to say in her original speech before it got cut short, but it was her entire
Hmm.
speech,
yes.
and
Oh, I see.
like the part we heard in Rebels came after the part we heard in Andor.
Yes.
So, and
Um,
trying to
and
the
there's
people are
there's
trying to
some
like keep continuity that way.
there's definitely a time jump.
Hmm.
But that's for later in our discussion. So favorite moment shots in this arc, if there's three in each episode or just one that stands out to you. It has been over a week since
Yeah.
those episodes came out. So yeah, who goes first?
Mhm. I don't know. I liked it was in episode 9 when Bix leaves Cassian. That was like really sad.
If you
Like,
haven't
Yeah,
watched that already, why are you watching this show? If you haven't caught up with episode 9,
yeah,
it's in the title,
um,
guys. Come on.
please leave
it is the title, bro.
and come back later.
Yeah, yeah. So, I don't know. Like, we did predict that she was gonna die,
Yeah,
and
I think we
he
predicted
did
way more
sort of
people
lose her.
definitely should have died, but
Hmm.
also not everyone has to die in a story.
But this is Star
Like
Wars
Rogue
we're
One.
talking about.
Yeah, there's this thing called plot
So there's a
armor.
pretty high chance that your side characters are going to die.
That's
Yes,
true.
but
And
there's
if you're
plot
doing
armor.
something out of timeline order, there's 100% certainty that a character you see later will live.
Yes.
Exactly. But a
Um.
very small percent chance that someone you don't see later will live.
I.
Exactly.
Like in this case though, with Bix, she left him because if if you watched it, you've seen it, because he was gonna like quit and he wasn't gonna be doing all the stuff he was, and she basically left him for the rebellion so that he could keep going, and
Yeah.
it's
But
it's really
also,
sad, but
there's barely 1 year's turnaround time between Bix leaving and him meeting Jin Urso.
Yeah.
yeah, which is kind of
It's.
crazy, but
Yeah. It's. I think my favorite uh moment or shot would definitely have to be the, what was it? It was on my top of my head, but um Cyril Cohn during the Gorgon massacre. How
yeah,
there's just so much going around, and it's just focusing on him. You're not hearing everything, but you're seeing different things, and he's shocked because like he kind of set this in motion,
yeah.
Completely
and
accidentally.
that was incredible. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's kind of related to my favorite moment, which was When Cyril confronts Andor, and Andor asks him, "Who are you?"
Yeah,
Because Cyril had spent the last who knows how many years
5
trying to
years, something
track
like that.
down Andor, trying to. And Andor had no clue who Cyril was.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
It
like,
was very like kind of like a dark irony.
mm-hmm,
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then
mm-hmm,
he literally just gets shot in the head. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
headshot.
It was
Sorry, I played
very,
Halo.
I don't know. I felt kind of bad for him because, like, throughout season two, you see, like, I guess more, he
Humanity.
becomes more personable. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
definitely.
because
then,
it's kind of like Gorman brought out the human side of him.
yeah,
But I think it was always there. I think even with Dedra, there was a human side, but growing up in the Empire and everything, it basically brainwashed them. And you could see it in um Cyril always eating some cereal. How he's still this innocent kid
Yeah.
and doesn't know much.
Hmm. On an unrelated note, I see the camera is apparently saying the armchair over my shoulder should be in the shot.
Uh,
Uh, Tiger's got those force powers.
um, but I think we should just start with episode 7, walk through it back to back to all the episodes. Anything you noticed, anything that stood out, just to give some more in this episode because we can't speculate, sadly.
hmm.
Well, you two can't speculate because you two have watched the finales already. I
We
haven't, so I'm
can
going to be
fake
topping out before the
speculate
next
though.
episode. Anyways,
Okay.
Yes. Um, we start off this arc on Yavin, and Bix and Kezian has their own hut outside of the camp and the barracks, and
it's kind of interesting to see like how in the early years so much of it was set up outside, whereas in A New Hope we don't see anything outside the temple itself.
Yeah, just a
but
year later.
Everything
that
appears to
was
be
like
inside the temple.
hours at Yavin, so
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, like between A New Hope and Rogue One, even
yeah.
Rebels.
Yeah.
But we didn't need to really like Rebels. The Rebel crew basically spent most of their time on their ship.
Mhm.
Rogue One, it was a base of operations, mainly them living on the ship, and that was like 3 days long.
Fair point.
So
And then A New Hope, it's just like, oh yeah, we have a base here, so
I want to
Facts.
know.
oh, I wonder how the Empire found us.
I want to know if they actually used Yavin couple years later, like
Hmm.
Be like moving back to Dantoonie, even after the Empire knows you.
or Chopper base.
Although I think that one's a little too destroyed.
Yeah,
Grand Admiral Thrawn does have a tendency to go scorched earth.
Yeah,
yeah.
unfortunately.
But with that said,
Anyways, this is Andor review, not Rebels.
I noticed in I watched some reviews yesterday and different things and noticed that his Andor's hut is finally like a home.
Yeah,
and it's decorated. It's in a jungle, kind of going full circle from uh
exactly.
Not
Canary
From
yeah.
yeah,
living in a jungle and
from his
now
childhood.
living in a jungle.
Though Yavin doesn't really seem to have as many industrial mining accidents as Canary, but
And
Yeah,
separatist invasions,
that too, that too.
but at least it's not Gorman.
facts.
But um
On that note,
on that note, let's just keep going. Oh, uh Willem survived the
He
gas.
did, surprisingly.
and
Um
somehow kept his mind too.
yeah,
Hmm.
he's not Saw, but
And no one is.
Saw is
No one
Saw
will
and
ever
no
be.
one can become Saw unless it's Saw.
Say that 3 times fast.
Saw 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 saw. Um but yeah, he survived and he was like, I still have some missions from Luthen, and Willem is kind of like still allied with Luthen, but Kazian is now part of the bigger alliance, and um, Luthen is kind of the old guard if you think about it. He
Mm.
set it up, he got things in motion, but he's not there at the base. He's still on Coruscant.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Um, because you have to be. Um,
someone has to be.
Yeah, and I mean the new base. He's still protecting the new base.
yes.
Hmm.
Um, I think, and Willem wants to like convince um Kazian, hey, let's go get Dedra. She's on Ferrex a lot. We can kill her.
Hmm.
And it makes sense that the two people from Ferrex would want to take out the person who ruined Ferrex.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it helps. Um, and definitely, General Draven hate doesn't like Andor that much.
You don't say.
Um, I think if Andor didn't have some plot armor, um, he would have definitely been court-martialed a few times.
And he definitely would have been promoted to captain by the end of episode 9,
definitely.
Yes.
which which is the rank that he is at the beginning of Rogue One, so no more promotions.
Hmm.
But
Uh,
luckily no demotions.
yes.
Yeah.
But he left, went to Ferrex with Willem,
And gotta love everyone's unfortunate timing
but
in this series
the
to be
Force
at
healer.
the worst place.
There was a
It's
Force
it's really bad. They're
in
all just the same.
um, I think it's the Messenger. Is that episode 7?
Episode
Yes.
7, The Messenger.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the Force healer, the cook. Um,
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
because
I was
this is
looking
the
to see if she was any like Jedi that we already knew of, but no.
No.
She's
um,
just
Yeah.
a force sensitive cook.
Hmm.
yeah, I think there was definitely a lot of Force sensitive people who weren't Jedi or Sith. Sabine,
Or Inquisitors.
um,
Yeah.
Tiger, I thought you said force sensitive.
yeah, Force sensitive, not Jedi. Hey, Han Solo could be Force sensitive.
Ah,
Um.
yes. He
Like
doesn't believe in the force, but he's force sensitive.
well, like Finn.
Yeah,
He's more sensitive,
but only
but
maybe like this
on a
much.
lower
Thank you,
scale.
Disney,
He
for
has
taking
less
what was supposed to be special
midi-chlorians.
and giving it to literally everyone.
Yay, we can all be Jedi.
If we
I
have
feel
enough
like Oprah stepped
midi-chlorians.
in somewhere. You get to be a Jedi. You get to be a Jedi. You all get to be a Jedi. Anyways,
But I think this um Force Halo Force Halo Val basically all tell Bix, hey, Kazian is meant for something, and he can't leave the rebellion. And
Hmm.
we know from Rogue One that it's being one of the members to infiltrate Scarif. But
Yeah.
Andor wants to quit. Andor wants to be done. Andor wants to go live his life with Bix.
yeah, because once he takes out Dedra Miro, there's no Imperials who know about him or Bix or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um. But uh, as well as like, I think also in it, um, the Senate Mon Mothma's losing control too of her Senator friends.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You can slowly see the slip, how it's slipping away. The cab driver, being a spy.
Hmm.
Yeah. We knew that for a while though. Like, be
Yes.
Yeah,
honest.
and um, one of the reveals in episode 9, uh, I watched someone who pointed out every time in the earlier episodes that Mon is working over a senator, you can see her assistant in the background talking to a different senator and working them over,
Yes.
thus giving validation to his line of like, "I've helped you in ways you don't know about," or something like that. I forget what the actual wording
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Um, but you can see the through the 6 episodes of the Gorman arc, if you think about it,
Yeah.
um, how the Empire can easily take control, but also spin the story of, oh, rebels are doing this, but are they technically doing it themselves? And you can see the life that just normal people are facing with this like fascist government
Hmm.
Hmm.
taking over. And I think the Gorman massacre, it's a bad thing, but I
Hmm.
was happy to see it because it was something we knew that was coming.
Yeah, and like what you're saying with like seeing like the lead up to it and how the Empire just slowly coerces people into um, accepting it, basically. It's
Hmm.
kind of the same thing that happened in the 30s and 40s in Nazi Germany.
Yeah. And
They slowly dehumanized people to the the Jews and other targeted people's groups
yeah.
to the
Hmm.
point of once they started exterminating them, barely anyone complained. Those who did were silenced.
And I think that shows a big point in it, um, that um, George Lucas was inspired by history,
Hmm.
by westerns, by the military equipment, and it helped with Star Wars. And you can see it now how history still plays a part in it.
Yeah, and like
Hmm.
you said, I saw an image somewhere where it's like the Millennium Falcon. Nope, it's that side. The Millennium Falcon's cockpit there. There's like a side by side between it and a B-29 Super Fortress, and it looked like exactly the same.
And I think Tony Gilroy is doing a good job to
Hmm.
use the inspirations of George Lucas to help better the story. It's the same
Yeah,
thing with Rogue One. Tony
Yes.
Gilroy rewrote it after they filmed half of it, and um, it helped bring the war back into Star Wars. Not this just fantasy story. It shows the grit
Hmm.
of being a normal, everyday civilian
Or like
wanting
in
change.
Solo. In Solo, like the Mud Troopers, where Solo was a part of at first,
Yeah,
you can see a whole bunch of their costume designed by World War One, like the gas mask goggles, the
yeah, for real, for real.
just general uniform.
Hmm.
and even the
Even even earlier in Andor 2, the in some of the previous episodes on that, on the planet that Bix and Andor were previously living on.
yeah,
Um,
The farm one, or
yeah, the farm one, the guys on top of the tanks and everything,
oh yeah,
their
those,
helmets were similar. Yeah,
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 and like the guys being on top of them kind of reminds me of the M8. Wait, is it the M18?
I think
With like
so.
the commander is just sticking out
Yeah.
up above everyone else.
even the whole like in the um Imperial Army, you have just normal soldiers. They
Hmm.
don't have fancy equipment. They aren't the stormtroopers, who are the elite of the elite, and they are just
Despite what A New Hope may say,
this is this is after New Hope. How can you see in this thing? That's a stormtrooper.
yep.
They're the elite. Why are they so
So
weak?
Well, I mean,
bad.
in A New Hope, they were ordered to miss and let them escape. But after
Yeah.
that, they have no darn excuse.
Hey, plot
Facts.
armor.
Unlike actual Stormtrooper armor, in which, oh no, I took a glancing blow to the shoulder, I'm dead.
Yeah,
um, but I
unfortunately.
even the Gormans chanting coming through and them
We are the
seeing
Gore. The galaxy is watching.
Yep.
the
We
one
are the
leader
gods.
seeing this is a trap
Hmm.
and trying to
Oh, my
warn people,
apologies.
but they're like, no, we want to speak out.
Hmm.
And it was once you got enough people in that center, them closing it in um, helped show number one it was a trap, but show the determination of just everyday
People.
rebels being
Not even
oppressed.
rebels, just people.
Yeah,
And uh, one small note too is their thing where they're like singing Valley Highlands, whatever.
yeah,
It it really reminded me of like the songs that we would sing at like summer camps when I was in Boy Scouts,
yeah.
or whatever the most modern name for it is, because they've gone through way too many name changes for me to keep track of.
Yay!
All right. Yeah. Tiger, what was that?
I know
Where were we?
I know all the name changes. I think it's stupid, so that's why I was saying yay.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
you experienced some of them.
yes.
Ow,
Mm.
my knee I just hit.
Meanwhile, me living in another country and not knowing Boy Scouts exists.
But you lived in the jungle.
Nah, whatever, whatever.
So we want to get
Yeah,
back on track, right?
Yeah. I think
the exploding scene, where Bix and Andor are just walking away. That was really cool.
that was
Even
That's
though
also the
that
wrong
wasn't in
arc,
this arc.
but
Yeah, still cool though.
yeah. I we all go. The galaxy is watching. I think that chant tells everything. Tells the story of it, and seeing how they unite over that chant and the anthem, and
Mm,
seeing how quickly the empire is like, time to start it, time to start digging.
yeah,
but also for the actual massacre,
Yeah.
it was started by intentional friendly fire.
Yes.
yep,
The Empire is willing to consider its people expendable.
But also, it was a um squad of cadets,
Hmm.
new soldiers.
Completely green in the field.
So
so they could pull it off basically.
yeah, and
Or our soldiers were inexperienced, But
but
they
also
started firing,
It's
and
kind of
also
then
like,
putting Deidre in charge of it.
mhm.
You have this other guy who's like logistics and calling the right teams, but it
mm,
was Deidre all along who planned this.
Mhm. Yeah, Dedra and what's his face, her supervisor,
Uh, Powder gas, whatever,
Partagast. Yeah,
were behind it because Krennic was like, "Hey, we gotta do this,"
yeah,
we need some minerals.
and I think it was cool, and
Talkite.
I think it was sad and
Hmm.
amazing filmmaking.
Or just like the basically hopelessness of facing off against one of the Imperial droids.
Just seeing
It
someone
just
get
like,
slammed
hmm
Hmm.
like it's a paperweight.
and like
Yeah, the
her father told her that it was a trap, told her to leave. She chose to stay, and she faced the consequences of it. Unfortunately,
yeah,
Yes. Um, and Cyril seeing Cassian, um, like you're the reason all of this.
the ironic thing about that moment too is Cassian had Dedra in his sights. He had a clear shot, and he was about to take it. Cyril didn't know any of that, and
I
he still managed to save Dedra's life
I
for
was
yeah.
the
I
we've
was
lost count
Again,
really
time.
I was really thinking that if Cyril found out what happened, um, and like walked out, saw Andor or something, saw what was
hmm
happening, I thought it would have been cooler if he was like, "Hey, I want out. I did a mistake," and Cyril was the one who ended up killing Deidre,
exactly.
not
That I thought that was
Cassian.
good.
Well,
That's what I
what I thought was
thought.
I thought they were going to use that episode as a way to um, take care of Dedra because we've never seen her in any later productions.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Turns out I was wrong.
it's sad
They
that
chose to take
it
care of
it's sad that Cyril
Cyril.
got shot out of
hmm
nowhere, basically.
But hey, the father got his revenge. Cyril
for sure,
betrayed
for sure.
him and his family, led to his daughter's death.
Yeah. as well
I'm not
as like
saying you should kill people, but
even and the one guy who killed uh Cinta had his redemption moment,
mhm,
which was extraordinary. I think you don't
definitely.
notice it in everyday things.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, also, um, Woman or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That is the second time that he's dropped the ball on the rebellion because he chose to be with a girl instead.
Yeah.
Learn about this guy. Choose to send him where he'll actually be useful, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Bro needs help.
I think it was needed. I think um it helped get Andor to Coruscant,
Mm.
even
Yeah,
if Willem didn't survive, if him
mhm,
and his um girlfriend or whatever didn't make it.
right.
It also helped Andor be like, yeah, I gotta take what I saw and leave.
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
gotta tell the galaxy what happened.
So this was kind of seven, episode 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Now, episode 9, Welcome to the Rebellion.
Yes.
Or a better title would be I Have Friends Everywhere,
Yes. I think
because that
Mhm.
seems to be people's favorite line.
that
Apparently.
episode was amazing. Um,
Yes.
but the last 8 was pretty cool too. Um, yeah. Um, and went back to Coruscant and met up with um Clea. Um, and this is where everything starts turning. Mon Mothma's getting ready to leave. This is, hey, it's time to go. It's time to start the rebellion.
One interesting thing to note is throughout the entirety of episode 9, they talk about bringing her to Yavin,
Yes.
but in Rebels they talk about Dantooine.
Um,
Hmm.
I
One,
think
one of the guys that I watched kind of said the original plan was to take her to Yavin, but because they'd been infiltrated, they changed plans to take her to the other planet instead.
as she ended up at Yavin. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
how.
Right.
Um, it matters that she is out of the Senate and she's leading this thing.
And I heard someone asking like how they knew that Bale's team was infiltrated, but somewhere along the line they mentioned that the person who infiltrated was part of Lonnie's team, and so Lonnie passed the information to Axis,
Luthen.
Luthien, yeah, Luthen.
But I think that helped to show um the disconnect of the rebel cells too, cause Baal and Mon Mothma had different networks.
Yes.
You have the Fulcrum network and the Access network, and it allows it helped with Adventure, but it also helps kind of connect the story better if you use Kazian. So
Yes. And like Senator Mothma speaking out of line like this kind of goes on to show how the Empire considers it justified to dissolve the Senate in A New Hope.
Literally a year later, basically.
Yeah, more or less.
And I think Bale, um, the actor, I wish it was uh, Jimmy Smith, but I think the other guy,
Wasn't he like double booked or something?
yeah, he was overbooked, but I think it was good. I think, um, if you have to recast for certain stuff, it's fine. You shouldn't have to consist. You shouldn't have to recast just because.
Right. Like, if you disagree with statements that the person makes online in a country in which you're allowed to practice free speech, that's a little iffy for firing them from all future shows.
So, I got a comment. No audio,
Oh, really?
but I hear it fine. Cause I quickly listened to the live stream. So
I mean, I can mute you guys and go listen to it for a moment.
yeah, it was roughly around 10:04. So we will be taking a quick break. Sorry about that. Audio issues, and we don't notice until people comment. We got that fixed.
So if you're watching this, watch us live, comment, and help us figure out our technical issues. It's only 3 guys. We don't have that many people.
And we can't multitask and listen to a delay of ourselves talking where we are talking. It's very distracting.
Especially when you hate the sound of your own voice.
Yay! But with that said, we are in episode 9 of Andor season 2, talking about Mon Mothma before the couple breaks and audio testing. So, yeah, let's keep going.
Where were we again in the actual episode?
We were talking about Jimmy Smith and Bale
That's right.
recasting, I think.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
And I forget his name. I was um
Um,
it is none other than um where is it?
well, while he's searching for that, I feel like this change, I didn't notice it at first. I don't even know if he
Benjamin
appeared
Bratt.
before this, but like in this episode, there were quite a few things like that I could just tell it was someone different, and um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's definitely gonna be things different when you
of
change
course,
actors.
no
Young
two people are the same.
young Solo, young
Young Solo. Yeah, that's not a good topic right there. Let's
young
move on.
Solo and Harrison Ford, young Lando and Billy D. Williams. You
Yeah, and Like even some of the uh, CGI reconstructions of some of the original characters.
Nothing can be perfect
Right.
in
Mm-hmm.
it, but um we've got there's been two people who played Mon Mothma, um, and they leapfrogged. It's fine. Um, if you have to do that, I think it could help with it helps with story, but you also have to pick people who look similar and do it right. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
someone who's being recast, you've gotta look at the source material of
Kind of like what Ewan McGregor did, Revenge of the Sith. He
yes,
took English. Hello,
Alec Guinness.
thank you. He took Alec Guinness's like mannerisms basically, and just throughout the movie slowly started switching to them.
Yeah, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that even with I was listening to um Industrial Light and Magic documentary Light and Magic season 2, and they were talking about how they created CGI Yoda. They went and watched a lot of the Yoda puppetry by Frank Oz
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
to CGI Yoda in.
Yeah.
So even if
Interesting.
it's going from physical to digital, they're still taking the time and learning from previous people. So
Mhm.
Cool. Call it a
Yeah,
call it a show.
yeah, I think this is a good spot. Yeah, make sure to join our Discord and subscribe because we need it. And yeah,
help us grow our YouTube community as well as our external sites community.
because Discord is where you can have get to know us as well as participate in events that come up and be the first to know about videos being published and information coming to you guys, as well as some specials for a merch store, which we do have. It's link in the description. You get 10% off your order. It is cool merch. Fives help. Me and Fives designed it, and we want feedback. So,
And
anything
I just told them
else?
good job.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
With
the discount will be ending whenever we post the uh, next review.
Yeah.
so, please double check and do it now, cause supporting us is good. With that said, may the force be with you.